On Friday this week, the liquor roof that had provided cover to the proceedings in the cloistered halls of the TDA office in Naguru caved in as the devout optimism was replaced with consternation. Political observers opined that selfish interests and the gravy train windfall betrayed the mission of the alliance to pick a single candidate.
In politics, a leader is nothing if he does not have the army behind him. Now, if the army behind him is divided and everybody looks at the leader as somebody who has sold out because he has allowed, say, another dominant party to have most of the seats, because that was likely to emerge.
Well, they couldn't stick together mainly because of egos. Basically, it is about egos. With one party thinking, since they are so much bigger than the other parties, it is their right to be the leaders in this party.
Opposition candidates as well as the ruling party often receive money from various sources, which is worth billions.
The way politics is structured, politics has become so commercialized, and it has become a job, you know. So whoever wants is interested in the job of politics, there's no way you're willing to share the spoils with anyone else.
Elections are really a high form of money laundering for a very corrupt system that we preside over here.
The selection criteria also appeared not to be democratic, which drew parallels with what transpired in Tanzania, when former Premier Edward Lowassa became the flag bearer of the opposition Chadema, edging out Dr. Wilbrod Slaa, who had been in the trenches for long.
TDA is in a way not different from the NRM in what they sought to do, because the NRM had produced a sole candidate. I believe sole candidates are very, very dangerous scenarios.
The TDA protocol also sought to achieve what critics have called an ambitious plan of having a joint candidate for all elective positions.
I'm very uncomfortable with anything that has to do with a sole candidature, because it displaces this content and hides it in places where it cannot be organized.
In 1996, despite a ban on parties, the DP and UPC set aside their long-standing differences and, under the ban of inter-party forces for cooperation, supported the presidential candidacy of Paul Kawanga Semogerere against President Yoweri Museveni. Sengowa believes the failure for parties to establish strong structures at the grassroots renders the entire coalition story a fairy tale.
What has really acted against the opposition, especially against Dr. Besigye, is popularity has bred a kind of satisfaction and complacency that you end up not working hard enough to ensure that what you have you keep in the bag and add on more onto that.
Right now, they're kind of narrow based on selfish interests, and they cannot project their power because they are not as rooted in the general population as possible. Most Ugandans are bystanders to these coalitions. They need to be involved in them.
Yet one will argue that as opposition parties continue to tinker with internal democracy, coalitions in future will be much more robust. Shiran Huchre, NTV.